Hello students, welcome to ROSE project conducted by Rayat Shikshan Sanstha Satara. Myself Shubhangi Jadhav from SGM College Karad. We were discussing about the chapter solid state in chemistry. This is our 7th lecture. Students, up till now we had seen that the crystalline solids are formed by regular repetition of large number of unit cells. We had seen that in the unit cells of the crystalline solids, the constituent particles are arranged in a regular and periodic manner in 3 dimensions. But this is not true for all the crystalline solids. In the crystalline solids, there may be some imperfections or irregularities in the arrangement of the constituent particles. So, in today's lecture, we will study the crystal defects or imperfections in the crystalline solids. Now, see first here the types of crystals on the basis of regularities or irregularities in the arrangement of constituent particles. Here, the crystals are classified into 2 types as ideal or perfect crystals and the real crystals. If the constituent particles in the crystalline solids are arranged in a regular geometric manner, then that crystals are named as ideal or perfect crystals. So see here, in these crystals, the constituent particles are arranged in a perfect geometric order. Actually, such type of crystals exist only at absolute zero temperature, that is at 0 Kelvin temperature. Above 0 Kelvin temperature, these crystals show some deviations in the arrangement of particles. So, this is very difficult to prepare or to find the ideal or perfect crystals. The naturally occurring crystals are actually the real crystals. In these crystals, some irregularities or defects have been found. Okay, that is, these crystals do not have perfect crystal structures. They show some irregularities in the arrangement of atoms. So, the crystals in which the constituent particles are arranged in a regular manner, then that crystals are named as ideal crystals, while the crystals which show some irregularities in the arrangement of constituent particles, then that crystals are named as real crystals. And remember well, all naturally occurring crystals are the real crystals. They are not ideal or perfect crystals. So see the definition of crystal defects or imperfections. The irregularities or disorders in the arrangement of constituent particles of crystalline solids are called as crystal defects or imperfections. Here, these defects are generally created during the process of crystallization. Now, if the process of crystallization occurs at a faster rate, then the imperfections are more, and therefore the crystal defects can be minimized by carrying out the crystallization at slower rate. Now see the types of crystal defects. There are 3 types of crystal defects. First one, point defect. Second, line defect. And the third one, plane defect. In this chapter, we will study only the point defect. So see the definition of point defect. The defect which arises due to irregularities produced in the arrangement of bases at lattice points in crystalline solids are called as point defects. Means here the irregularities are observed at the lattice points and hence the name point defects. Okay. Now again there are 3 types of point defects. First, stoichiometric defect. Second, impurity defect. and the third one, that is non-stoichiometric defect. In today's lecture, we will study the first two types of point defects, that is stoichiometric defect and impurity defect. And in the next lecture, we will study the non-stoichiometric defect. So, see first the stoichiometric defects. Before that, we must know the meaning of stoichiometry. Here, see the definition. Chemical formula of a compound shows a fixed ratio of number of atoms or number of cations and anions. This fixed ratio is called the stoichiometry of the compound. We know the chemical formula of the compound. For example, sulfuric acid, we know that its chemical formula is H2SO4. Here, there is a fixed ratio of constituent atoms present in it. Okay, we know that in sulfuric acid, the formula is H2SO4, means the ratio of atoms is 2:1:4. Similarly, in HNO3, the ratio of number of atoms is 1:1:3. Or some ionic crystals like CuSO4, the ratio is ratio of number of cations and number of anions is 1:1. Or in NaCl, again we know that the ratio is 1:1. Okay, in this manner, in any compound, the ratio of number of atoms or number of cations and anions is fixed one, and this fixed ratio is nothing but the stoichiometry of the compound. So the compounds whose chemical formula shows a fixed ratio of number of atoms or number of cations and anions are called as stoichiometric compounds. Now, here you must note down that in stoichiometric defect, the stoichiometry remains unchanged. Okay, there is no change in stoichiometry of the compound. That is, here the ratio of number of atoms or the number of cations and anions of the compound remains same as represented by its chemical formula. Okay, now we will see the types of stoichiometric defects. There are four main types of stoichiometric defect: vacancy defect, self-interstitial defect, Schottky defect, and Frenkel defect. Out of these four defects, first two defects are observed in non-ionic solids, and the next defects, that is Schottky defect and Frenkel defect, are observed in the ionic solids. So remember, when vacancy defect and self-interstitial defects arise in non-ionic crystals or non-ionic solids, while Schottky defect and Frenkel defect, they are observed in ionic crystals or ionic solids. Now we will see first the vacancy defect. Okay, now see here how this defect arise. Now, during the process of crystallization of a solid, a particle is missing from its regular site in the crystal lattice. Now, this missing particle creates a vacancy in the lattice structure. Now, see here, this picture shows the regular arrangement of constituent particles in the crystal lattice, but you will observe that some of the particles are missing from their regular site. That is, they are creating the vacancy. You will observe here there is the vacancy created in this lattice site, while one more vacancy is created at this lattice point. Okay, so such vacancies are created in the crystal lattice, indicate the vacancy defect. Okay, now see the definition of vacancy defect. When some of the lattice sites in the crystal lattice remain vacant because of missing particles, then the crystal is said to have vacancy defect. Okay. This defect can also be developed when the substance is heated, and therefore it is also called as thermodynamic defect. So remember, when vacancy defect can be arised during the process of crystallization or during the heating process. Okay. Now see here, when the vacancies are created in the crystal lattice, the mass of the substance decreases due to missing of particles. Okay, but its volume remains as it is. So according to our definition of density, that is equal to mass upon volume, since the mass decreases, the density of the substance also decreases. So remember well again that due to vacancy defect, the density of the substance decreases. Now see the second type of stoichiometric defect, that is self-interstitial defect. When some particles of a crystalline elemental solid occupy interstitial sites in the crystal structure, then it is called as self-interstitial defect. This defect generally arises in the elemental solid, remember well. Okay, now here in this defect, some of the particles in the crystalline solid are occupying the interstitial sites. You know the meaning of interstitial sites. We know that during the arrangement of constituent particles, the voids are formed or vacancies are created in between the constituent particles, so that empty spaces or the voids are nothing but the interstitial sites. So when some particles of a crystalline solid, generally elemental solid, occupy the interstitial sites in the crystal structure, then it is called as self-interstitial defect. This defect is observed by two ways. See the first way. Here, an extra particle occupies an empty interstitial space in the crystal structure. You will observe here that the extra particles are occupying the interstitial positions. Here all these crystals are arranged, all these particles are arranged in a regular manner, but at the interstitial sites, these two particles had been occupied. Okay, so these are the extra particles. In this manner, in self-interstitial defect, some extra particles are occupying the empty interstitial space in the crystal lattice. Now, due to this defect, by in this manner, here again the density of the crystal increases. See why the density increases. Here you will observe that the number of particles has been increased due to introduction of extra particles, means the mass of the substance increases but its volume remains as it is, and that's why the density of that substance increases. Now see the second way of self-interstitial defect. In here, an elemental solid particle. Here, in elemental solid, a particle gets shifted from its original lattice point and occupies an interstitial space in the crystal lattice. You will observe here in this picture that the particle has been shifted from this original site and it occupied the interstitial position. Means here the particle is not missing, but it is only changing its regular site. Now here it is interesting to note that the site where the particle has been changed its position, that at that site a vacancy is created, while the interstitial space where the particle is occupied, that position creates the interstitial site. Okay, thus this self-interstitial defect is a combination of vacancy defect and self-interstitial defect. Again, you will observe here that the number of particles remain as it is, volume also does not changes, means the mass remains same and volume remains same, and hence the density of the substance remains unchanged. Okay, now see the third type of stoichiometric defect, that is Schottky defect. Here this defect is observed in ionic solids. Now in ionic solid, if equal number of cations and anions are missing from their regular positions in the crystal lattice, then they are creating the vacancy. So, such vacancies, such paired vacancies, that is cation anion vacancies created in the ionic solid is called as Schottky defect. Remember well, here the number of cations missed is equal to the number of anions which are missed. Okay, so equal number of cations and anions are missing in this crystal, and in this manner here the paired vacancies are created in Schottky defect. Now see the next type of defect, that is Frenkel defect. It is also observed in ionic solids. Now here when an ion of an ionic compound is missing from its regular site and occupies interstitial position between the lattice points, then the crystal defect, the Frenkel defect arises. Now see here, the cation is missing from its original site. So the cation is creating a vacancy here, but that cation is occupying the interstitial position. Okay, so this is a cation at interstitial site. Similarly, in this position also you will observe one more cation vacancy where that cation is occupying this interstitial site. Means in this defect, generally the cations are creating the vacancy and they are occupying the interstitial positions because the cations are having smaller size, and hence they can easily occupy the interstitial sites. Anions are bigger in size and therefore they cannot be accommodated in the interstitial sites. So in Frenkel defect, generally the cations are missing from their regular site and occupying the interstitial positions. Again here you will observe that the mass of the substance remains unchanged, its volume also remains unchanged, and hence the density of the crystal remains as it is. It does not changes. Now see the conditions for the formation of Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Here the Schottky defect is observed in the crystals having the following characteristics. Now see here, the crystal must have high degree of ionic character to show the Schottky defect. Again, there should be high coordination number of anion, and there should be small difference between size of cation and anion. That is, the ratio of radius of cation to the radius of anion is not far below unity. Means it should not be less than 1. Means there must be very small difference between the size of cation and anion. They should have nearly same size. Then and then you will observe the Schottky defect. Okay, now see the conditions for the formation of Frenkel defect. Here in the Frenkel defect, the ions of the ionic compound must have low coordination number, and here there should be large difference between sizes of cation and anion. Okay, so remember well these conditions for the formation of Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Now see the consequences of both of these defects. Here in Schottky defect, the density of the substance decreases because the number of ions decreases, that is, its mass decreases while volume remains unchanged, and due to decrease in mass the density of the substance decreases. In this defect, though the number of ions are decreasing due to missing of ions, equal number of cations and anions, the electrical neutrality of the compound is preserved, means the compound remains electrically neutral because equal number of cations and anions are missing. Okay, so these are the two consequences of Schottky defect. Now see some examples of the ionic crystals which show this defect. Sodium chloride, silver bromide and potassium chloride. These are the best examples of the ionic crystals showing this defect. Now see the consequences of Frenkel defect. Here in the Frenkel defect, no ions are missing, only they are changing their position. Okay, and therefore the density of the solid remains unchanged. Similarly, the chemical properties of the solid also remain unchanged. Here again the crystal as a whole remains electrically neutral because of presence of equal number of cations and anions. Okay, now see the examples of the ionic solids showing this defect. The crystals, ionic crystals like zinc sulfide, silver chloride, silver bromide, silver iodide and calcium fluoride are showing the Frenkel defect. Now you observe here that silver bromide is showing Schottky defect as well as Frenkel defect. This ionic crystal AgBr can show both of these two types of defects. Okay. Now see the impurity defect. This defect arises when foreign atoms, that is, the atoms different from the host atom, are present in the crystal lattice. So here again there are two kinds of impurity defect. The first one, substitutional impurity defect, and the second, interstitial impurity defect. Now we will see here how the foreign atoms are present in the crystal lattice. Now, in the substitutional impurity defect, the foreign atoms are found at the lattice sites in place of host atoms. Host atoms means the atoms of that crystal, okay, original crystal, and the foreign atoms means the impurity atoms. Now, the regular atoms are displaced from their lattice sites by the impurity atoms, and therefore it is named as substitutional impurity defect. The regular atoms are substituted or displaced from their regular sites by the impurity atoms or the host atoms. Now see the examples of substitutional impurity defect. Generally, all alloys are showing this substitutional impurity defect. Alloys are nothing but the solid solutions of metals. Now see the example of brass. We know that brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Here the host atoms are copper atoms. That is, in copper we are adding the impurity of zinc. Okay. So when the zinc is added in copper, the host copper atoms are replaced by the impurity of zinc atoms. Thus, the zinc atoms occupy regular sites of copper atoms. You will observe here in this picture, these these are the copper atoms, while the black color atoms are the zinc atoms. Means some of the copper atoms are substituted by the host zinc atoms. Okay, so the brass or alloys, all alloys are showing the substitutional impurity defect. Now see the second example, vacancy through allovalent impurity. So what is meant by allovalent impurity or allovalent ions? See first. The ions which are having different oxidation state than the original ion, that are called as allovalent ions. Okay. Now here the vacancies are created by addition of the impurities of allovalent ions, that is ions having different oxidation state. Now see here the example of sodium chloride. Now here in the sodium chloride crystal, if you add some impurities of strontium chloride, that is SrCl2, okay, then the strontium ions are occupying some of the lattice sites. Here you will observe that the Na plus ions are replaced by the strontium ions. Now we know that sodium is having plus 1 charge, that is, it is having positive charge, one positive charge, but strontium ion is having two positive charges. So when one strontium ion is added in the lattice, here actually the two Na plus ions are replaced or substituted in order to maintain the electrical neutrality, because sodium ions are having only one positive charge. Okay. Now here, out of these two Na plus ions which are substituted, one of the Na plus ion is creating the vacancy, while the other Na plus ion is displaced by the strontium ion. So for every strontium ion, two Na plus ions are displaced because of the oxidation state of strontium as plus 2 while sodium as plus 1. Okay. Now see the second type of impurity defect, that is interstitial defect. In this defect, the impurity atoms occupy interstitial spaces of the lattice structures. You will see here the example of stainless steel. We know that stainless steel is made up of iron, that is host atoms are iron, and in iron we are adding some impurities of carbon. Okay, so iron atoms occupy normal lattice sites, while the carbon atoms are present at the interstitial spaces. Because the carbon atoms are having small size, they can easily occupy these interstitial spaces. So this is the interstitial impurity defect observed in stainless steel. Okay, thus in this lecture we discussed two types of defects, point defects, that is stoichiometric defect and impurity defect. In the next lecture we will discuss the non-stoichiometric defects. Thank you.